2021 has been an incredible year for theme parks in the UK. There's been so many massive changes to theme parks, and it's not just retracts this year. So of course, within this video I'll be discussing a year in review of what is new in UK theme parks in 2021. And of course, there is a lot of exciting things coming in 2022, so I'll probably do a video on all the things that'll be happening next year in the next video. So first of all, you of course have Paultons Park, and they have got a new ride area which is called Tornado Springs. And of course, it follows a family of storm chasers that would like to get closer to a lot of natural disasters such as tornadoes and other sorts of extreme storms, and also to experience their force. And of course, the area is 4 acres, and it does hold the following attractions and shops. It of course has the parking lot Tots, which is a young children's playground, and then of course a junkyard junction, which is for older children. You also have the trekking tractors, which was a ride that was previously in the area, but has now been rethemed to fit with the sort of Route 66 Texas style theme. There is also Buffalo Falls, which is the dinghy slide ride, which you can actually see on the left-hand side of the map picture that I'll be showing you. And of course, that's where you just sit on a dinghy and it takes you down and you get minorly wet. And you can find things like this at Fort Park as well. And they're a decently popular attraction too. You also find that there is also Windmill Towers, and that's a Zaria family drop tower, and there is in fact 2 of them, and they're alright, actually, these models. You'll find them a lot at family-ish parks, but yeah, they are proving to be a decently popular attraction, surprisingly. Normally drop towers in family-themed areas aren't exactly the priority for a lot of people, but it's actually proving to be quite a popular attraction, especially with younger kids, which is relatively surprising to me, actually. There is also Al's Auto Academy, which is a Garmondale car ride. I believe Garmondale was the people who did the Go Jetters Vroomster Zoom ride at Alton Towers in CBeebies Land. And that's just like the sort of car ride that you'd find in Cloud Cuckoo Land at Alton Towers too. But yeah, I believe there is also an option to get a driver's licence paid separately. So you do have to pay for your child's picture printed onto a card that says they've got the driver's licence, similar to the sort of system that they do have at Legoland Windsor, which I'll be talking about later in this video. You'll also find Cyclonator, which is a Zamperla Discovery ride, and that's a sort of swinging pendulum ride that you will find a lot of different Discovery models of from Zamperla all across the world, particularly in America as well. These sorts of things are very popular over there. You'll also find Storm Chase, which is the main attraction, and that's a yellow track roller coaster which is in the centre of the area, and that is the UK's first free spinning coaster, and it was of course manufactured by Mack Rides, and their spinning coasters are getting more and more popular, and they are incredible rides as well. I've actually not been able to visit Paultons Park this year, but I would definitely like to visit to go see this coaster because, of course, it does look incredibly fun, and of course, Mack Rides, as always comes out with smooth coasters that are both fun, thrilling, and also family-friendly a lot of the time, and they're real innovators in my opinion, and I hope to see more work from them in the future. There is also Rio Grande still there, but that has had a retheme, and of course that is, I believe, also by Garmondale, I think, and that's just a little train ride that takes you around the area. And then there is also the Route 83 Diner and Al's Shop and Service where you can get themed merchandise for the area as well. So then there is Alton Towers, which of course, if you haven't guessed by the displayed pictures, they have a new area which is World of David Walliams. Of course, it follows a popular book, now books, because there is a now sequel to it, of Gangster Granny, which is, replacing Cloud Cuckoo Land. There's really only the driving school there nowadays, but when, a lot of people were younger, that was all Cloud Cuckoo Land, and it had all of that stuff in there, including the bouncy land. But of course, the following attractions are in this new area. So you have the Royal Carousel, which I believe was there from the previous area. You have Raj's Bouncy Bottom Burp. You have Raj's Shop, where you can get the books of David Walliams, not just Gangster Granny, and you can also get other sort of merchandise themed to the Gangster Granny ride and other attractions in the area. You do also have the Gangster Granny ride, which I've just mentioned, which is the 4D ride experience, which takes you on a sort of rotating carriage that, obviously guides you through the whole story. And of course, it doesn't feature actual, live animatronic style things like I would honestly prefer. It's mainly screens, which, it kind of upsets me. I love practical effects with animatronics. I'm absolutely mad for it. So it was quite disappointing that they took the 4D route. For some reason, it just feels cheapened on me, especially with a ride that was previously in the area but is now in the Alton Towers dungeons, is the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ride, which used, sort of the Roald Dahl, Quentin Blake, because that was the illustrator of the book, those sorts of characters in the area, and it was all animatronics. So I was a bit disappointed that they couldn't actually translate the style into this ride with live things, but beggars can't be choosers, it's still there, and it's a pretty good investment as well. And also there is temporarily Flavio's Fabulous Fandango, and that's part of the Retro Squad selection of rides. It might be there next year, it probably won't be though, because that was a 2021 event. And you'll also recognise things like Mixtape as well from the Retro Squad. So far the area has received rave reviews from parents, but, the queue times can actually be quite steep. When I last went to Alton Towers, I didn't actually go on the David Williams ride. I have, of course, been on it, but, it was an hour and 20 minutes. I wasn't about to queue up for the Gangster Granny ride for an hour and 20 minutes for it to be screens that sometimes make my eyes hurt. It just doesn't seem like it's that worth it for me, but as a family attraction standpoint, it truly is a worthwhile investment. And, if kids, enjoy the books and it gets them into reading, there should be more areas that encourage this, because, of course, it's a great life skill to learn, and being able to read and enjoying it as well, because you'll often times find it's included in your job. So, of course, it is a decent area as well, with all the book merchandise on offering and a lot more. So then, of course, there is Chessington World of Adventures, which has gained a new ride, Croc Drop, and this is located in the sort of Egyptian-themed area of the park, and basically it's a 25-metre or 82-foot family drop tower, which was manufactured by SBF Visa, and it has 16 seats in all. I believe also when it gets to the top of the drop tower, it does give a little spin, so you get a decent look around the surrounding area and also park, and then, of course, you plunge into the Croc's mouth. So it features an approximately 16-metre crocodile mouth, which is based on the Greek god Sobek. I'm not too sure how big 16 metres is in feet. It's probably approximately 26 to 32 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then also Sobek is an Egyptian god, otherwise known as the Greek god of the Nile. And of course, it is Egyptian god. That was a massive mistake. And it's also a figure of protection over that body of water. And of course, this is a truly impressive ride. That massive crocodile mouth really does stand out from the rest of the park. And also it does have a decent pre-show on it too, and it's really a nice, well-themed ride, and I do quite like the new investments that Chessington is making. The theming of the whole area is really nice, it's very immersive, so having something in the middle that really towers above and shows the sort of power of, the Egyptian gods there as well, is just a truly incredible thing for them to have, and I think it really does fit in the area. Then, of course, you have Legoland Windsor, and they have the new area, Lego Mythica, and this is a truly impressive investment on Legoland's part. Of course, in recent years, the investments have been pretty small. They've had things with the Lego Friends area, but they've never really set their minds on having something massive, something impressive, and something new to the UK, really. So the new area does include the UK's first flying theatre, which showcases Lego creatures from similar Lego Mythica sets that do come to life, and that attraction is called Flight of the Skyline. So of course, a flying theatre, for those of you who don't know, is a 4D experience where you're basically strapped into a seat, and it's basically on a fully rotating axis, so you can move forward, backward, side to side. And, you can obviously have all the 4D effects with, like, water jets and, wind streams. And I haven't actually had the pleasure of riding this. I've had the pleasure of watching POVs, and from what I've seen, it's truly impressive animation as well. They've really gone for, like, a sort of photorealistic vibe for it, which I think is really great because, of course, throughout the whole park you are surrounded by Lego and Lego models, so having that showcase that they can do something as impressive as that in their, CGI animation ability is something that's really interesting. I think it's a really great medium that they've chosen, especially given that they do have similar things with 4D experiences in the Lego Ninjago ride. So, I do think it's a very interesting way they've done it. There is also a reframe of Squid Surfers, and that's now called Hydra's Challenge. Of course, for those of you who don't know what Squid Surfers is, it's basically a ride where you are you're stood on a little, like, sort of boat thing, and you can steer the wheel, so you swing out into the water beneath you, and it kind of gives you a bit of wind in your face, a bit of force. There is similar attractions at Sesamo Ventura in Portaventura, so of course that's a decent attraction as well, and they're quite popular, but you never really get too wet, so it's not exactly a summer attraction or a winter attraction necessarily. You'd also have 2 family drop towers, and that's 42 feet tall. I believe you can see those in the background of the picture I'll be displaying, and that is called the Fire and Ice Freefall. These are good, of course, drop towers, similar to the ones in Paultons Park. Nice family drop towers, not too tall, not too short, not too, thrilling or fast. Of course, a lot of these family drop towers, even if they are taller, they will actually have brakes as you go down, so it's never too fast. But of course, getting people into drop towers is a great thing because they've got a small footprint, and they can be quite intense as well, as you can see with Ice Blast at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and Hurricane Condor at Portaventura. They can get quite intense, and of course, having people like them more means that you can get rides that are flat rides into smaller footprints, and that's always great. And then there is also 13 massive Lego models of mythical creatures, and that includes, of course, the Sky Lion, which is by the Flight of the Sky Lion ride, and that weighs in at over 2 tons, and the whole area has over 6 million Lego bricks, which is truly impressive. Really, and the models can get up to, apart from the Skyline, 10 feet tall, and they're all these different morphed creatures, like unicorns, of course the lion, the dragons, and it's a very nice, impressive area in my opinion, and I really do think that this is a great investment, and it will definitely bring more visitors into the park. And of course, Lego never fails to impress, even though they do have mainly family attractions, which can make it for people like me who are more coaster fanatics, a little bit disappointed. They always do manage to impress with their incredible design of all of their large-scale models, and of course the accuracy in the mini land as well, and they're constantly updating stuff like that, and I believe they've added some new things in this year, but I'm not too sure on specifics. So yeah, that's really it for this video. I do, of course, hope you enjoyed it. I have missed out a few things, such as, of course, the Blue Barnacle ship being added to, I believe, Chessington, which is a replacement for the old pirate ship, and also the Black Mirror Maze at Thorpe Park. But of course, you can find that information on other channels or websites, of course, if you're interested, or you can just ask me in the comments below. It's been incredibly fun to research all these different projects, and of course, talk about my own opinions on them. Of course, if you have any, make sure to leave them in the comments, and of course, if you did enjoy this video overall, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, this was just talking. Bye bye.